Hi folks, Dr. Barry again. Today we're going to talk about how to annotate a text. This will help you in your research skill set and, particularly in our annotative bibliography work. So let's get into it. When we annotate a text, well, most of our reading actually, good background reading, is a little different from regular reading. Most reading is skimmed. We just, give it a quick brush over to get the ideas, the basic information, and then move on. However, when you need to learn, reading requires close attention. It's kind of hard work. There's some heavy lifting to do here. Good reading is hard work, and good reading makes for good writing because you expand your vocabulary, you come to understand turns of phrase and various other things. It's very helpful. So what does it mean to annotate a piece of text? Annotation means creating meaningful notes, and it ensures we're actively reading the text rather than just passively allowing words to bounce off our faces. You want to read with a pen or pencil or sticky notes in hand and make notes on the text as you go along. Now, let me show you one of my annotations here. This is my American Lit textbook. This is one of the ones I lecture out of. And you'll notice here on the side all the flagging here. This places I've marked passages of interest and things that I want to tell the class about. You also notice here, there we go, that I've highlighted the text. And not only that, I've created what is called marginalia, right? Little notes there in the border of the text to suss out main ideas and to point out things that are important to the text. Okay, so you want to communicate with the text, bring its ideas to life. And annotation allows us to mark important passages and reminds us of our reactions to the text. Remember, there is no one right way to annotate a text. There's this great poem by Billy Collins called Marginalia, where he talks about the writing that we do in the margins of texts. And he said some are like a cheering section for the writer. Yes, my man. And then some people write there an argument with the author, like don't be a ninny, things like that. So when you are annotating a text, you're going to want to do that. This will help you with your comprehension, and it will challenge you to read deeper. Annotation helps us to capture the main ideas, the key concepts and details of a reading. It helps us to target and reduce the needed information for a text. You're going to have an article of like 5 pages long, and you may only need 2 pages worth of information. Annotation helps you distill it down to the very portions that you'll need for your research and for your paper. That way you don't kind of go blind looking at it when you try to find the information you need. Also, when you turn back to it, you'll be able to find your annotations again, and you will know what argument, what issues what portions of the text you're going to use for your argumentative paper. It helps you cut down on study and review time when you return to the material, increasing your effective and efficient use of time and effort. I would caution you, don't do this in library books. Only annotate your own articles and books, printouts there. Okay. It also helps you strengthen your reading comprehension, get you the ideas behind the text. Okay. Now, before you annotate, what you want to do is find a quiet place with no distractions. You really want to limit your exposure to music, cell phones, and or TV. And it goes without saying, social media. Look at the title. Usually this includes the author's subject or method. Okay. Who is this author? What you already know helps you guess something about the writing. If a biographical sketch is provided, read it. This will give you some background. It'll help you also identify the author's ethos, how much their skill set is, how great their skill set is, what their authority is to write about the text. Okay. And what was it published? Would you be more likely, for example, to believe Living Mermaids, an amazing discovery, if it were published in Scientific American or the National Enquirer? And if you remember the Weekly World News, that was their kind of fare too. It indicates for whom the text is written too. For example, if you read an article in a popular magazine like Popular Mechanics or Newsweek or Time. That's written for a broader audience. If it's written in say a journal dealing with aquatic life and oceanography, that is for an audience of experts, and that will influence your text. When was it published? If it's about mermaids, will you find more reliable information written in 1988 or 1788? Right? We know a lot more now, and we knew a lot more in 1988 than we did 200 years prior. Okay, guidelines. Helps to read with a pen or pencil in hand. This will help you focus and stay alert. Okay, because what you have in your hand, you have your pencil, and you think, okay, I'm going to mark something. It'll make you more likely to concentrate on the text and getting ready to mark that text. Create your own code and symbols. Be consistent with your system. Okay, abbreviate things such as brackets, stars, exclamation points. You want to keep a list of characters and their key traits. A good place would be inside the book cover. You can make out like a map key there. Add brief notes to your lists as you read. This will tell you what your symbols are in case you forget, and what they mean. Look for patterns. What ideas do you see repeated? What connections can you draw between these different concepts here? Create your own code symbols. Okay. When you annotate, mark the main idea. Now, you may want to underline it. You may want to star it. You might want to put an asterisk there, whatever. Supporting details. Use a different symbol for that. Key terms. Probably best to either highlight or underline these. Cause and effect and explanations here. Okay. Underline and highlight, but be careful to use that sparingly. You don't want to underline an entire page of text. Underline and highlight only a few words. Never underline the entire passage. And at the end of each chapter, bullet point the key events as a summary, or write a short summary. Now, you may probably want to do this on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, this will actually help you build your annotations for the annotated bibliography. In the greater sense, it will help you get a sense of what the text is all about. Have a conversation with the text. You can talk back to it. In my library, I have a book called Talking Back to Poems. It was a guideline. It was a how-to writing text on writing poetry through, responding to famous poets and their work. Take your time as you begin a new text. Okay. Ask yourself questions as you begin. Are there fallacies in the text, or is the text accurate? Is the author's thinking objective or hopelessly biased? And especially, how does this relate to your everyday life or experiences? Right? This will help you. It'll give you a better sense of the text, and it'll also aid in your memory. Try to make a quick note on the top of each page indicating the most important point there. Okay. For example, on this text here from my textbook, I'm writing about the story called "The Yellow Violet," and I wrote down in the margin the main point of the poem is all will die, life will go on for a short while until those left behind will pass away. Okay, which is the main idea of the text. Also hopelessly depressing, but moving on. Okay, ask questions essential to active reading. Use question marks. Be alert to what puzzles you, because this is good information here. Usually once you can suss that out, that will help you excavate some really great information there. Good readers don't zip along without stopping to monitor their comprehension. Read through and think, okay, so what do I know about this? How am I understanding it? You stop and think about the text, and you note what you don't understand. I remember when I was in grad school in the master's program, I was taking a course on literary theory, and I would find myself getting to the end of a page or 2 or 3 pages and realizing I had no idea what I just read. So I'd go back and I would start over again until I finally tracked down the answer and comprehended what I was getting at. Write down questions that you would like to discuss too, because this will help you comprehend the text better, and it'll let you know whether or not it is useful for your research. There we go. Your annotations must include comments as evidence of thinking, both in your text and in your annotated bibliography. Okay. Of course, you should always pay attention to vocabulary. A strong vocabulary comes from reading, not from memorizing lists of words. You can memorize all day, but until you use the words in the context of the writing, they're abstract, they're meaningless. Your text includes many words being new to you. Mark these. Try to determine meaning from the context. If you're really puzzled by a word, look it up. There's a dictionary.com. They have an app that is free that will help you do this. Now here's a fine example of an annotation. You see the key ideas are written here in the margins. He writes one note annotations here for the passages that he's underlined, circles words of particular importance, and so on, all the way down. And here he's written in ideas and thoughts on the text to help guide him along. Okay, so there we go. This is our brief presentation on annotation. Hopefully this will help you out. You can do this with your own writing, with your own text. Remember, if you're borrowing text from the library, they kind of take a dim view of you writing in their books. But you can do Xeroxes. You can certainly do these little tabs like I have here. It looks like I've turned my book into a porcupine. These just help guide you to your information and help you mark the important thoughts and facts. All right, so that's it. I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video.